Hello, you guys. Well, I'm back in the van. uh, Boy, this time change really fucks everything, doesn't it? I had to leave the apartment, and I had to leave the apartment, and it's stressful. It is stressful like a motherfucker there. Oof. Everything was going really nice for almost a week and a half, maybe even two. No, maybe about a week and a half. I mean, it was just peaceful. Every once in a while, I would hear the people upstairs. Every once in a while. Very tolerable. But then I noticed that the people to the left and the people to the right, all their lights were off all the time. But then suddenly, 2 nights ago, I would hear a constant, like, boom, boom, all night long. So I had to put my earplugs, and and it just began to get stressful because I couldn't figure out where it was coming from, whether the people from to my left or the people upstairs. I'm having a lot of back problems. I've got a patch in my back. See that? The thing is mediocre. It's lidocaine patches. And the camera is backwards again. It's lidocaine patches. They kind of help. Not a whole lot, but anyhow, so then I was already starting to get stressed because of that pound that I could not know where the hell it was coming from. Also, a lot of these videos that you're going to see from me, I'm not going to, well, many times you're going to see me the way I am. In other words, without combing my hair, because I didn't comb my hair, and look presentable. It is what it is. So I was starting to get a little stressed out, and then all of a sudden Halloween came. So for 2 nights it was like that, and then all of a sudden Halloween came, and that night, that night and the following night, there was 3 incidents. The first one was at nighttime. I kept hearing this loud kicking, but in very slow increments, episodes. But it was very, very loud. And then all of a sudden, I would hear some lady yelling, "Get out of my fucking house!" And it just went, "Ah!" And then again, the kicking, "Bah! Bah! Get out of my fucking house!" And it went on that, So finally I got up. And my anxiety was already building up. I said, good God, I said. So I opened the door. I opened the door and I peek out. And it's the neighbor to my right. I said, I thought they weren't home. Nope. I don't know what happened. They've been home or they got home or I don't know. But also there's this black girl. I've never seen her there before. But for the last almost 3 days and nights, I've been seeing her roam around the hall, the stairs, the elevator, the lobby, outside, drunk, with a pajama flannel gown, like, I mean, totally wasted, drunk. I'm like, fuck, man. And then the day when Halloween, they had like this little small event outside the management. So I got an ice cream float. They were giving ice cream floats and candy and some other stuff. You know, I just wanted to be social and, you know. So I sat down in this little circle right outside the building where they were set up and all the employees were, you know, dressed up in Halloween costumes, things like that. I was just being nice, being social. And so I said, you know what, I'm not going to take my stuff and just walk away. Just sit down right there. You know, maybe somebody else will sit right next to you and you can have a conversation. So as soon as I sit down, I'm having my ice cream float. And this dude comes over and sits down right next to me. And he starts to roll a fucking joint. A fucking marijuana joint. I'm like, look at this fucking moron. Right in front of management. And then all of a sudden some other guy comes out. And he's in an electric scooter thing. And he looks at the guy. I guess he knew him. And he goes, dude, you're going to do that right here in front of management? Just like that. And then the guy said, huh? What? I thought they didn't trip about that here. And the guy in the scooter, he didn't say nothing. He just shook his head and whoosh, he left. I'm like, what a fucking moron. So that was a stressor. And that day, and anyway, so later in the evening, then that happened. And the drunk lady also continued to go on. And finally, the lady that was screaming stopped after about 20 minutes or so. But I was already, like, just stressed. And this was, like, midnight, I think. Yeah, about midnight. Whew. I'm like, what next? So then all of a sudden, there was also some police activity that day. Either that day or the previous day, there was some police activity going on. So that was another fucking stressor. And then all of a sudden, the next day, Halloween day, the 31st, I think. Halloween was on Saturday? I don't remember. Well, the day of Halloween... Wait a minute. Anyways, so the following day, either 30th or 31st, in the morning, the following day, after the lady that was screaming to get out and kicking the door, I didn't sleep good at all. I did not sleep good at all because all I kept hearing was that BAM! BAM! All fucking night long. And then here comes 6 or 7 in the morning. and there's somebody yelling outside, "You motherfucker! You fucking motherfucking nigger this and nigger that, you motherfucker, you don't let me..." And then I said, "What?" And she said, "You motherfucker, you don't let me sleep every fucking day. You're fucking playing your music in the hallway. You bring your tweaker ass friends every night and you start partying and tweaking." Woo, man. It went on real bad. Right outside my window. And I could see them because they're right outside my window. And I'm just looking down there, peeking through my little blind, and I'm watching them. And it's this black lady, younger looking lady, yelling at this guy named Leo. And I've seen that Leo before. I've never talked to him, but I knew he was up to something. I just didn't care for the guy. And sure enough, that lady was yelling at him because the guy threatened her to fight. According to what the lady was saying. Because she was yelling, "I told you to shut up, Leo, and you told me to go outside to fight." And she was yelling like at that. And there was a bunch of people outside too, trying to calm her down, because she was yelling things like, "You don't let me sleep. I can't sleep. Blah, 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 blah." And all of a sudden, the funny thing is that none of the employees ever work on Saturday, but this time there was one of them. And she came out. I said, "Whoa," I said, "I thought they didn't work on the weekends." But she was there for some reason. And the other thing is that that previous night, I didn't know this, but they moved in a live-in manager. I said, "Oh shit, you're in for one big surprise." But yeah, she was moving in. She's got her own place there, a live-in management. So anyway, so the following morning, that lady was screaming at that dude Leo, and it was bad. I felt so bad for that lady. I mean, really, really bad. Because I know what that feels like, And she was saying that he cranks the music, and he brings his friends, and they're getting high and all that crap. And yeah, it was pretty bad. So anyway, I decided to leave, and I packed up, and I brought a bunch of stuff and my pillows and blankets and a bunch of food, and I left. It's stressful living there. It really is. So here I am in the van, and I found some trailers that I could afford. But many are in Utah. I don't know why people in Utah and Sacramento, when you see trailers in those areas, they take care of their trailers. You see trailers here in San Diego or Los Angeles, and they're all ripped apart, and they don't even have the registration. I mean, they got him looking like shit. They don't even clean them, And when you see the trailers that I find in Utah or other places, they take care of them. And they have the registration, too, up to date. So I've been looking at all this, music equipment also, and I said, I could buy my heater, my Olympian wave heater. And I look at all this music equipment and I want to buy. But then I realized that, what's the point? I'm in a fucking van. And I said, And what's the point if you buy it? You can't even enjoy it in the apartment. Even if it was a nice apartment, I couldn't enjoy it fully because you're limited to the volume. So right now I was just sitting here and or like earlier today I was listening to before I left the apartment I was playing this keyboard, and it came with all of these wonderful sounds, and I said, man, I wish I could crank the volume, man, and hear that rumbling bass, man, and that I said, fuck. And if I brought it to the van, well, you're limited in space. I can't even stand up. My back fucking hurts. So I see these two trailers right now. One of them I just found in a little up about an hour north of St. George, Utah. $1,500. It would cost me about $250 in gas to get there and maybe have a little bit left to come back down to Quartzsite, Arizona, and stay there. And then decide what I would do, whether to leave the apartment or go full blown into the trailer. So then I saw another one in Victorville, California. It's a little smaller, and they want a little more, $2,500 or best offer, they said. So I said, well, I'll offer the guy in Victorville $2,000 and see what happens. The one in Utah, I know I can lower that even further because they know I'd be coming from San Diego. And then I began to just get really indecisive. And I said, why can't you make up your mind? I mean, why can't you decide? Why can't you decide? I guess it's the fear of not knowing exactly how it's going to end up. I've already been told by one guy who lives in Baja that he's willing to rent me a trailer space for really, really cheap also. It's all off-grid though. And that's fine. And it's right close to the ocean too. And I called a bunch of RV space for rent storage. And I found several of them here in San Diego. The cheapest one was $150, but they don't have any available, and you got to call frequently to see if there's any available. They're not going to call you, they said. You have to call and ask if there's any available, if any of them opened up. So then, okay, so if let's say if there was an opening, what I would do if I decided to stay in the apartment, or they gave me another apartment, like they said, I would have to be paying the storage $150, but I have in and out privileges. I said, well, I could do that and then just go out for a night or two and jam, work on music, or longer if I can. You know, and keep the apartment, not the one I'm in now. If the new apartment is a decent one, then I would probably stay and buy the trailer and park it in an RV space. But then I also, and see, there I go again with that. But then, but, everything's a fucking but. So right now I was just saying, why can't you decide? You know you're miserable in that apartment right now. You know that you could enjoy doing what you want to do if you have a trailer. And right now it is so peaceful when I sleep here in the van. Yeah, every once in a while some fucking nut might pass by and, in their car cranked or a homeless guy, but they're passerby. But it is so quiet right now. I don't have to worry about people upstairs. So anyhow, you guys, I just don't know why I can't decide. It's like I need somebody to kick me in the ass. And like the birds who are babies and they can't fly off the nest. It's like I need somebody to just kick me in the ass and motivate me. Type of thing. Not criticize me, not, like make me see the good side of what could happen. I know I talk to myself and say, oh man, I could buy an amp, I could buy this gear, that gear. I've been seeing them online all the time. And then I'm beginning to realize, why? Why buy it? You're wasting your money. You can't even enjoy it. I'm still on Lexapro too. It's been doing pretty good. Pretty damn good. So right now, I'll leave you with this, and I'm like, right now I'm just thinking, you either go for the trailer and fuck the apartment and don't look back. Don't look back at the loss of the apartment. Don't look back. Either you go for it, buy the trailer, take off, Quartzsite, Arizona, and start a whole new life. Literally, a whole new life. Because in this apartment and this program, you also feel like you're going to be you're going to be enslaved by that lifestyle. You're going to be enslaved. Or you can continue waiting and hopefully the new apartment is way better. Hopefully What do you guys think? Thanks for watching.